Welcome. Here we go. Finally got myself figured out here. All right. And thanks for not saying anything about me, Stella. I mean, I've spent all this time on my hair and I've got no comments, zero comments. So it's all right. Let's go. I'm not gonna dwell on it.
Well, Chris, you outdo us all. If I was any better, I'd be you. Like, you always are like perfectly amazing. So there's really nothing to say more about you.
Thank you, Stella. I'm going ahead and sending over the payment right now. So there you go. Thank you. All right. Get this kicked off here. Let's hit some leaderboards so far for the week. Now, again, leaderboards typically pulled on Thursday evening. So I do know we've got a lot of business pouring in on Friday, but so far for the week, 22 apps, 20,277 month to date, 40,795. As far as the agency owners, the Dinwiddie agency at 4449. 6 applications. Menifee Base Shop, 16 applications, 15,828. Top producers, we have Donna Bates, 2 applications, $1,488. Kenneth Nelson, 2 applications, 1,604. New rider, and he is off and running. New rider as of a few weeks ago, but is now getting his insurance legs underneath him and running on a steady pace here. So great job, Kenneth. Mr. Spencer Cushion, 2 applications, $1,686. Stella Dinwiddie leading from the front as always, 2 applications, $2,098. And Stacey Love putting in another monster week at 8 applications, $7,179. So far, the number 1 rider, but there's still time to catch up. You've got appointments today. You've got plenty of time to put business in before midnight Eastern to count for the week. We have a new rider this week, and big shout out to Stefan, who wrote his very first application. That is a huge accomplishment. And as we always say, if you can write 1, you can write 2. And if you can write 2, you've got yourself a business started. Keep doing that over and over again, and you will not be disappointed with the results.
Hey, Chris, there's a couple people that can't get on the call. I've just got 3 text messages. It says the meeting ID is not valid.
I don't know. We're all here.
I know.
Have them click on the link. Because I emailed it to my team and I emailed it to myself, and I just clicked directly onto the link. I didn't need to enter any password.
Actually, if you could maybe just throw that back up on Crew, an updated post, so anybody that missed the email or is having trouble finding it, direct them back to Crew, and we'll see if we can get
updated link on Crew.
Get some more folks on here. While we're sorting that out, we will go ahead and continue on here. And all right. Oh, look at this. Stacey Love last week. Or the first week of that's last week. I don't know. I'm off on my dates here. $10,000 week, $10,284, 26 applications. Guys, it's just mind-boggling. Luckily, your good fortune, we have Stacey and Stella, who will be hosting the call and talking about how to add some of those applications to your business. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. One word, and I was really, and we talked a little bit about this, but our word of the year for the team is joy. And, I think a lot of us, especially in business, we start thinking about things like, achieve, overcome, these kind of, power words, if you will. I think joy is a very good word, especially in the business that we're in. You go back to the name of our company, Symmetry Financial Group. That was chosen for a very specific reason, not because it just sounded good and looked good on a card or on a sign, but symmetry meaning balance, finding that balance between work and life, being able to run at a high level and achieve business success, financial success, but also still have time for the more and most important things in life, and that is your personal time, your family time. And so joy, to me, that's a perfect word. And you've heard it said, and sometimes it's for us, it's a little counterintuitive, but finding your joy in the struggle, finding the joy in where you're at. You say, well, where's the joy in the struggle? There's a lot of joy that we can find. The opportunity that, again, even though sometimes this business, it's very challenging, it's very difficult, it's very hard, but you have complete control over the outcomes. And if you don't like where you're at, sometimes that just means rolling up your sleeves and digging in a little bit deeper and improving your skill set, your tool set, your mindset. But you have control over that, and there's a lot of joy in that, in my opinion. So, very grateful, very blessed with the system that we have, that our founders put together. Guys, Monday morning role play. We have folks that keep showing up for that, and having some good interactions, and a great opportunity for us to again take that growth, take that learning, and actually practice it before you take it out and put it into play in the field. So join us Monday mornings, 30 minutes, anything that from appointment setting to, specifically in the appointment itself. Maybe you're running into objection, ways to lock down appointments, ways to lock down apps, make sure that you don't have chargebacks. There's a lot of things that we can cover. Bring it all, and we will talk about it. Well, welcome to the team on Wednesday evenings. So as you build your team, make sure that you are having these folks jump on for a quick welcome call on Wednesday evening, and do just about a half hour, just get to know people, where they're at, what they're excited about, and again, just learn more about them, connect with your team. So leaders, we encourage you to join this call, but I'm on the call every week, 7 p.m. Central. Do your own time conversions, because everybody knows, don't rely on me for the time conversion. All right. Standing lead orders for just a reminder for those of us who've been around. Standing lead orders, a lot of you have them. Keep in mind, one of the things that a lot of times we tailor this message toward our new folks, and this is an important concept to be able to get into steady production, is to make sure that you have plenty of lead flow. But keep in mind, as a veteran or somebody that maybe's been here for a while, if you're not getting where you want to go in business, take a look at your lead flow. This is very much a numbers-driven business, and we can easily reverse engineer where you want to go versus the number of appointments that's going to take, the number of conversations, and ultimately boil that down to how much do you need on a weekly basis in leads. So have that conversation and make sure that you've got a good standing lead order. Speaking of, I love the company that keeps putting the company keeps putting this out, so we know the areas that we can target where they are seeing opportunities to increase the lead count, call-in leads specifically. And call-in leads are excellent because again, somebody saw the flyer and they want to get it taken care of right away, so they pick up the phone and they dial in and fill out their information. So tap into that level of urgency. FIF resets, we are going to keep this in front of you, and we're going to talk about it a lot because I'm really trying to make sure that I keep in front of myself as well in front of you what Mike Resma is really pushing. I forget what his new title is, but advanced markets or sales. Sales advanced markets, anyway, whatever his title is. Basically, the bottom line is there is no such thing as a no sale. We have to get out of the mindset that, I had 10 sets and I sold 3 and 7 were no sales. No, 10 sets, 10 sales. And a sale, if we redefine that, can be anything from mortgage protection, FIF reset, financial information reset. In other words, as you go through, collect their information, use that form online, guys. This will help you in this process. You're going to uncover things that maybe is not in your wheelhouse. Maybe you're not certified yet for retirement rollovers or debt-free life. Or we could boil it all the way down to something as simple as everybody you're talking to needs to be on MyQuility. There's your sale. And again, that is a no-cost sale, meaning all you need is their name and their email address. And take some time, get them set up on that program, build that client relationship. You know, I think a lot of times we go, well, I don't want to take the time. I'm not making any money on that. You're not thinking big picture, because you get them set up on that MyQuility and you take the time to walk them through on what that's going to do for them. That will give them an opportunity to plug into that system, use it, get excited about some savings, whether it be on prescription drugs, travel, dining out, and you know, you've got a client that you've got now a reason to call them back in 30 days. Hey, how's that MyQuility program? Have you tried it? You know, is that working for you? Guys, if we think big picture, that's a connection point. So be utilizing FIF resets and get on those trainings so you know how to apply that in your business. I just noticed, Spencer, did you have something you want to add?
Yeah, Chris, I did. See, I'll turn on my video. I don't know if you can see me or not. Can you see me okay?
See your shirt.
I can't see, so I don't know. Hey, can I share my screen real quick?
Maybe. Hang on a second. Okay, yes.
Okay, so let's see if I can do it.
Just stop my share.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So I was going to show everybody something really quick, and some of you guys may already have this and do this in your Zoom, but I'll share a story this week that happened. All right, so screen here. All right, you got me? Can you see my screen?
Nope.
Nothing?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's popping up now.
Okay, so I'll show you something real quick. I don't know if you guys have this from your slideshow. No, not that one. Sorry. This one. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so had a client, both military this week, going through some mortgage protection. So in the FIF reset comment, what I like to do with my clients is, right, I show them my business card. If I'm on a Zoom, if I'm with them in person, it's totally different. But on a Zoom, you know, my card is the one before. One after. Let me find it. Oh no, it's not on this one. This was my in-home one. Sorry. Anyway, my business card's the one before. And so on that card is all the stuff that we do. So what I like to do is go over and give the client a snapshot of everything that we do. And when I got to asset management, wealth, you know, I expand that a little bit. So right before I even got out of my conversation, the lady said, "Oh, we need to talk to you because we are not happy with our 401s and you know, want to get together and go over some stock options, some annuities. What kind of annuities do you have?" And I've done annuities, so I'm familiar with some of them, but I'm going to turn it over. So just wanted to kind of follow up with what you said in your presentation. It's not a hard step because you're already programmed to talk about it. If you're, you know, doing a Zoom like that, that you're laying out a foundation in the beginning of your conversation with your client anyway. So just wanted to add that to some folks. And if you don't have that slide, that was early on when we started Zooms on mortgage protection. That still should be there. If you don't, I can get it to people if they want.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that, Spencer, and I love that you shared. It's just that simple. Talking about it, guys. I a couple of years ago, doing a review with some existing clients that I wrote mortgage protection on a few years ago, and I did that. I just happened to recap. Hey, you know, it's been a while since we talked. Here's what we do. You know, I know we did mortgage protection, but we do a lot more. And she actually stopped me and said, "Wait a minute, you do IULs?" and we've been talking to our banker or somebody about IUL. I said, yeah, absolutely. Long story short, that turned into a $12,000 annual premium IUL with that client. So, you know, part of this process, part of this business is taking time to really slow down and not rush for, you know, obviously we want to take care of mortgage protection. Don't shortcut that stuff. But in doing so, follow the process. You know, that's why I'm encouraging everybody get on the FIF 101 training. If you have been, you know, make sure you get back on it and get comfortable with that process and then start using it, because that FIF form in HQ actually prompts you with the questions that you would ask to that client to make sure that you're targeting and maximizing the opportunities to help them. So thanks for that, Spencer. Leader summits. Hey guys, this is going to be fun. This is going to be exciting. Been a while since we've done one of these in person. March 21, 22 in Asheville. Get to go to Symmetry Mecca, so to speak, and get around home office. We won't actually be in a home office, but I'm sure you can run over and check it out before or after meetings. And but most importantly, this is time to really spend time around the leadership of the company. And again, this is where we really get into kind of more of a deep dive on some of the things that are going on behind the scenes. Your opportunity to kind of connect with leadership around that. We are having a phenomenal book club. Just a big shout out and thanks to Stella for organizing this, putting it together, and really some great conversations. You know, yesterday, you know, I actually had the opportunity to ask a lot of questions of everybody that was on screen, you know, with some things that I was trying to sort out in going through this book. So this is a great opportunity to share ideas and personally develop, which is a key tenet of our system. So join us on Thursday. We will soon be transitioning out of 5 Voices. You still have time to catch up with us. Don't worry about that. But we will be transitioning into the new book that Symmetry on a company level is promoting it as the power of full engagement. But you know, take time to pop in and get caught up with us on 5 Voices, and we'll be transitioning soon. National Conference, the Super Bowl of Symmetry, August 9th through 11th. Guys, get on the calendar with this. Make sure you get your all your hotels booked, get your flights booked. Don't try to wait till the last minute to do all this. Go ahead and make the commitment now to yourself, to your business. This is, and I've seen it, you know, it's amazing as we go back and look at the numbers. People that were with us there in conference, we're starting to see that exponential growth. Doesn't happen. Sometimes it does that first 30 days out of conference, but typically what we look at is that 90 to 120 days past conference, we start seeing those big jumps. And I'm starting to see that and have been seeing that over fourth quarter. So excited for National Conference coming up. Guys, we have a new fun contest coming up. We all have been well aware of the Golden Chicken, which is the most applications written, but we have a new contest. Golden Chicken is just for one person every month who has the most applications, and Miss Stacey has already got a huge jump on this month. So you guys got a lot of eggs to lay to be able to catch up on that. However, everybody can participate in this contest coming up, and I actually borrowed this idea. I was on a call last week with another agency. Loved what they were doing. We call it Sit Socks. Anyone who gets 10 sits, not appointments, sits. All of our success is measured around sits. If you have 20 appointments and 0 sits, you really didn't accomplish much. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, and I don't want to be mean about it, but that's part of our metrics. So if you get 10 sits, in a week, you get a pair of very classy socks. Now, I can tell you, some of the top performers in the company, you will see them if you go to Leaders Conference coming up in March. They will be proudly wearing these, and I'm talking like people that you perennially see their name on the leaderboard, national leaderboard, not just their team. I'm talking about, you know, people that are riding $40, $50, $60,000 a week are wearing these socks. So you want these on your feet. It may not be this exact pair of socks. This is just a possible rotation. However, this is something you want to earn, guys. So sit socks, that starts immediately. So you can earn your first pair of socks starting this week. So obviously, if you want to get 10 sets, I would probably be scheduling a few more than 10 appointments, unless you're really good at lockdown. Even the best at lockdown still might miss an appointment or two. So make sure, and obviously for this, we need your numbers. So be communicating with us. Here's how many appointments we've got set for the week. Here's how many sets we had. And again, 10 sets earns you socks, and only the classiest socks that money can buy. So we're going to have fun with this one, guys. Last thing, next week we have a special guest. I'm not releasing the name yet. I kind of want to still keep you on pins and needles. In fact, we're going to be putting out a series of announcements starting early next week. But I can tell you it is a 1:30. Somebody who is at the top level of the contract, direct to the company, will be joining us next week. Do not miss that. Do not be late. None of you popping on 3-5 minutes after the start of the call. If you're going to be on with a 1:30, I would probably be showing them that you're serious about learning and growing in this business, and make sure you block out time, give yourself plenty of time to get on that call. Those of you who are growing an agency, building a team, make sure that you get everybody you can possibly to this call. Twist some arms, friends, family, get everybody on this call. This will be very, very impactful. And one reason that we are doing this, the special speaker series that we will be doing every month, is to bring additional impact and opportunity for you to plug into somebody that has risen to the top level of the company. Take what they've learned in their journey and apply it in your journey. So take advantage of this, gang. Without further ado, that wraps up our announcements for the morning and our leaderboards. I am going to turn the call over to the hostesses with the mostesses, and that would be Miss Stacey Love and Stella Dinwiddie. Take it away, ladies.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Just real quick, congratulations to Stefan for submitting his first application yesterday. He was great with the client, and we kind of knew in advance that this guy was really interested because he reached out to Stefan first and said he needed to push the appointment back a little bit. And then Stefan texted him, he was ready, he showed up and got it done. So it's quite the effort, especially your first application, because everything's new. The questions, they look different than they do when you practice. So congratulations. And same to Timmy for passing his state of Utah exam. So he will be experiencing this first application feeling very, very soon. And again, welcome to Mark and Christina Feldstein. They are rolling through, waiting for their carrier contracts so they can get started and start helping families as well. So very, very excited about all the new members of our team and, what 2023 has in store for us. So, Chris, do I have screen sharing ability? I do. Awesome. So what we wanted to talk about today, Stella and I, is something that's really, really important, especially as we are helping new clients. So you get to this point where, you're making your dials and you have your appointments and you're running your appointment, and then finally someone says, I'll take option A, or I'll take the first option. And so after you get over the initial shock, I think it's really important to help your client all the way through the process. So I'm really excited to share this information. But it's really important to note that our carriers have really great trainings available through HQ to help you review their applications, learn about their products. There's several videos that are available. So HQ is loaded with carrier resources. And then of course, your mentors can help you with some additional trainings if you are looking for them. One challenge that I found in my time here is how difficult it can be to help your client actually sign their application. So depending on how old they are, what kind of technology they're using, it can be really difficult on their end. And so one of the great things about us being able to help them kind of seal the deal and sign that application is it really continues to build our credibility with the client. A lot of us are not sitting in Zoom meetings. I've only ever had, 4 meetings where my client has seen me. The other applications that I've written has solely been over the phone. So it became really important for me to understand what they're seeing on their side so I can talk them through without them getting frustrated. I know many of us, myself included, have had people just get frustrated and they're exhausted with the process. And I've had a few people hang up because it was just too overwhelming for them. So this training today is really to help you see what the client sees on the other side, right? Because we don't always see that. And of course, we encourage you to write an application on yourself first so you know what one of the products looks like. But at the end of the day, you're going to write with a new carrier one time for the first time, and you don't always know what's happening on the other end. So we're here to kind of show you what that looks like on the client side so you can help them kind of finish that process, encourage them, tell them to hang in there, because a lot of times it really comes down to that. They're gung-ho about getting the coverage in place, but then at the very end, if they get frustrated, then your work has really been, I don't want to say in vain, but you want to make sure you're able to kind of keep them connected to your process. So, it's really important. So they've said yes. Now what? And every single carrier is different. So we have can you guys see my screen here? Okay. So we have our 6 major carriers. And with each of those carriers comes a different application process. So I'm going to cover the first 3 very quickly, and Stella Dinwiddie is going to cover the final 3 of our core carriers. Now, this presentation will be available at a later date, but I encourage you to take notes, especially if you're starting to write business or if you've never seen some of these things through the application process. So I think this would really help you, help your clients all the way to the end. Okay, so core carriers, I'm going to start with Mutual of Omaha. So you have written that application, you've asked all the questions. There's a point at the very beginning of Mutual of Omaha's application where a HIPAA statement is emailed to your client. That's typically pretty simple for them to review. They will get an email from Mutual of Omaha. They open it, they tap on it, they put in their social security, last 4, hit agree, and that's done. That part clients seldom get stuck on. And I'll show you what that looks like. So they get these emails. Every person that participates in that application, whether someone else is paying, whether someone else owns it, they all need to sign. So this is really focusing on you just helping one client. So they have to review the use of terms to sign. They have to click additional forms. They have to review their application, and then they have to click that they've signed it, and then it will be submitted back to us to sign. So these are just the steps, right? So let me show you what your client sees. All right, so the application is done. You have sent them the email to sign electronically. Mutual of Omaha will send them an email and it looks just like this. So they will open it and it says, your application is ready to review. So they will click on accessing their application. Once they access that application, this screen is going to pop up for them. So this is Mutual of Omaha's way of making sure that it is actually the client signing the application, and they will put in the last 4 digits of their social security number. That is that PIN that shows up for you on that application. They put in their last 4, they click sign in. Once they do that, the fun continues. So they're going to get this email, right? This message with all of this information, like, oh my gosh, do I need to read all of this? Really what this is telling your client is, you know, you're allowing us to process your application for insurance. Okay. So they will have to do 2 things at this point. First, they will have to click on this highlighted blue button that says additional forms. When additional forms pops up, your client will need to scroll through. It just has all of the details of their policy. They need to scroll through and click close. Now, I seldom have clients that want to read that because you tell them they're going to get a copy of all of this information later on. So they can go back and read it in detail if they want to. They can come back and ask you questions if they have questions. But typically throughout the process, they're asking you questions, right? So they click on additional forms will automatically come up. They scroll through, they close them. After they close the additional forms, they will have to review their application. At that point, the review your application will be highlighted blue. Your client will click on review the application and ta-da, the application will show up. So they'll be able to go through and scroll quickly, check their address, make sure their social is correct, check their beneficiaries, check their payment information. This process typically takes a minute or 2. Again, you can reassure your client that they're going to get a copy of the physical application that they've completed with you electronically through their email. And also if the policy is approved, they will receive that in the mail. All right, so once they review the application, everything's perfect, they close that, all of a sudden they are able to click on this box saying that they've reviewed the terms in the application. Once they do that, they click on next. Okay. All right, so after that happens, they actually will have to physically sign the application. So I'm just going to talk through this. I'm going to skip through so you can see for the sake of time. They will have to indicate what city they're signing the application in. The state will be pre-populated because you've started the application based on the home state and your license in that home state. If they're using a tablet or some device that allows for physical touch, they will have the option to sign with their finger or with the stylus if they choose to. Once they sign, okay, they're in Omaha, Nebraska. Haha, that's their headquarters. I just got that. They sign, they put in the city, they apply their e-signature, and it goes right back to us as an agent. Once they do that, they'll see this little green thank you for submitting your electronic application. So sometimes clients say, I don't know if I did it right. Did I do it? Did you get it back? If they see that green thank you, then you know it's a green light, thumbs up. A lot of times where clients get tripped up on this is they see the additional forms, they want to download them, they want to open it in iCloud. That causes too much confusion. There are too many things that are going on at that point. Have them click it, scroll through review, and then close. Same thing with reviewing the application. Click it, review it, and then close. And it will automatically take them back to that box that they can check. And at that point, it's smooth sailing. Okay, any questions on Mutual of Omaha before I move on to Foresters? Okay, now I found Foresters is the application that makes me cry, or at least cringe the first several times, because they do use iPipeline, but they have additional forms on top of additional forms for your clients to review. All right, so Foresters, they use iPipeline. They will get an email very similar to Mutual of Omaha. They will have to click the blue button to access their documents. This will show up for them in their email. Once they click on that, you'll see something that looks very familiar. Ta-da! Last 4 digits of the social, right? So we're doing something very similar. Once they sign in, the magic happens, all right? It's that welcome consent. We've seen that before. They need to immediately click review documents, scroll through, close, then they will be able to check that highlighted box saying that they agree to what they've just read, what they've just reviewed. Once that happens, these are the forms that come up. So they'll get their electronic disclosure form, they'll get a review of their application. So Forrester's kind of layers it so you see what your client sees. Now, something really important to note with Forrester's, when they open that application, they're going to see a place to sign. It's going to say like proposed insured signature, agent signature. This is not where they sign. This is just a preview of the application that they will be signing on the next screen. Okay, so when you see people say or hear people say, oh, I can't, it's not letting me sign, that's because they're not supposed to be signing there. It's just for them to scroll through, review, and close. That took me forever to figure out. Okay, so then let's say, for example, they've scrolled through their application and you spelled a beneficiary's name incorrectly. What they will do, you will have them decline their e-signature. That application will kick back to you. You'll be able to make that change and resubmit it for them to sign again. So they'll start the process all over again if there's a mistake made. Okay. All right. We're almost done with Forrester. So once they review, they will be able to, let me go back real quick. They'll be able to accept what they've seen, and then this will pop up. They will click both of these boxes. Well, one, if they want an electronic copy, or two, if they want a paper copy of their application. Once they choose how they want it delivered, they will then be able to sign and date and submit to you. Any questions about that? Okay. All right. Last one, short and sweet. They'll also get a thank you once they've done it correctly with Forrester's. And these are the best words that they can see. Like, okay, I did it. I got to thank you. And the sigh of relief, I mean, you can hear it through the phone. All right. Next carrier is Americo. Now, Americo has changed their signature process in the last 6 months, and it's amazing. Very, very simple application, simple for your client to sign. The only thing they will need is access to their email. They don't have to do anything in their email, but open it once they get an email from Americo. In that email, Americo will throw a few things in there. They will have the disclosures for them to review. So again, they open it, they can scroll through. Then Americo will have a 6-digit code in that email. Your client just needs to give you that 6-digit code. You put it in the application, you verify it, and you keep moving forward. This will happen twice with Americo, once for the HIPAA, and then once again for them to be able to sign the application. So they will get 2 emails from Americo, the first time for HIPAA, the second time to actually sign the final application that they've reviewed. Okay, so the only thing they'll need for Americo is access to their email. They don't need to sign, they don't need to touch anything. They just need to give you a 6-digit code and you do all the work for them. It's pretty phenomenal, especially for some older clients that they're just not as comfortable perhaps with the signing and opening the documents. Americo is a great way to pivot. And a lot of times when you're collecting client information before you even run the appointment, you know, if clients say, oh, I don't have an email address, or, you know, I have a few clients that travel in RV, so they have really disconnected from technology. Americo is, if they don't have email, Americo is not the way to get them covered quickly. There's other products for that. Okay. Any questions about Mutual of Omaha, Forrester's, or Americo before I turn it over to Stella Star? You guys good?
I have one question for you, Miss Stacey Star. Awesome
Yes.
job. It's no wonder you write so many applications. So on Americo, they do have the, do they still have the voice authorization on the Eagle Premier just for, you know, the final expense older ones? Don't they still have that one?
They do still have it. It's not my favorite because it takes a long time to connect to that signature process. And so if someone doesn't have email, I would go with American Amicable versus Americo, because it's just an easier process for the client. So if they don't have email, then I'm not going to write them with America. I'm going to go to American Amicable.
Okay.
Unless America is absolutely the only carrier that may cover them.
Hey,
Got
Stella, can you hear me, guys?
I can, Spencer.
Hey, just to clarify, I'm not sure if I missed it. I didn't think so, but Americo, Eagle Premier, and the other one as well will allow a text only. So a text to run the HIPAA, and a text gives that code to sign. Another option is to go through the application, which I've done before, which is to go through the application verbally with the client, page by page, if they don't have email. So all they need is a cell phone that can receive a text.
Oh, I was only aware of SBLI giving authority over text. That's good to know, Spencer.
Yep.
So how recently did you do that?
That was going to be my question. How long ago have you done that?
Within the month.
Nice. Yeah, there's so many awesome changes out there. That's really good to know.
So you have the option when you go through the application on Eagle Premier, especially on that one, and they added it to just recently, I think within the last 2 months, to the home mortgage series, that all you need is a text.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks, Spencer.
You're welcome.
All right. Anything else before we roll into American Amicable? All right, Stella, do you want me to give you share access, or do you want me just to scroll through? Whatever you want me to do.
You're so awesome. If I could just say next when you go to the next one, that would work.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. But before I head in there, I just wanted to take a moment real quick. Usually when you open it up, Chris, to the AOs to make any announcements. An awesome job, by the way, Stacey Starr. Like, that's phenomenal. Again, like 26 applications in 1 week. Those are monthly numbers. That's so awesome. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize Jim Arch here, who this last week when he was calling his appointments, while making his appointment, he helped the person for the first time just on the spot. And that's always really exciting. Because, that doesn't happen a whole lot, and it really doesn't happen a whole when you very first start. So, don't always expect it, but it can. And I'm just so excited for him. And then, and recently, you'll see it in our team huddle for my immediate team, but Greg Aist was recently promoted to 85% on his commission level. And I'm so excited for you, brother. Greg gave himself his own promotion. I just think that's so awesome that you can do that here. Like, you can't do that out there in corporate America. So Greg, thank you so much for all that you do. You guys are amazing. And for those of you that missed our national call last Wednesday, man, you're missing out, because one thing that they announced, our very own Sydney Lee was at the top, number 1 of the leaderboards for DFL with a 19,000 APV. That's what she got to claim, but it was more like something 63,000, which is insane. But those are just such amazing things that I just don't want you all to miss, and especially those of you that accomplished that, to not be celebrated, because those are huge accomplishments and milestones in your journey here. And one thing that as you were talking about, Chris, going through the FIF, just a friendly reminder, all of the information on FIF, you can go in HQ and you can watch the recordings and catch up. You don't have to watch them all. You can just watch one a week. And over time, that's how you're going to help people. By learning how to do that. I mean, I got to, with the help of, used to be called Advisor Success, in my 6th month of business here, wrote a large annuity. And that was really exciting. And I'm nothing, but I just asked the questions that I learned from there. So wanted to share that. And speaking of HQ, please make sure you are logging on to HQ at a minimum of once a week. You should be logging on there more because there's so many awesome updates, and get nosy and look around. There's so much training, like what Stacey Stars here, sharing with carrier training sites, but you need to get on it at least once a week. Otherwise, there's a new process that Symmetry has told us, and that is you will lose your access, not forever, but it's just makes it a more of a challenge on you to get access back. Kind of like if you've been out of op for a while, for those of you that have ever experienced it. I personally never have, but I know some people get busy or whatever, and they're not on opt, and they have to reach out to their mentors asking, hey, can you give me access again, unlock my ability. So you want to just be, consistent, checking in, once a week. And then lastly is that big, huge shout out. I mean, I know you guys talked about Stefan. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He comes in our Zoom rooms. I love getting in these Zoom rooms with Miss Stacey Star. It's so much fun, you guys. For those of you that are not there, you're missing out. Like Stefan, I commend him for, I heard him briefly, going through a role play, and then he wanted to listen to us dial. It's those kind of people like you, Stefan, that are plugging in. I know there's many of you that do that. And if you don't, because it distracts you with Zoom, that's okay. I mean, there's many of you that are high producers, like Sydney. She does not like to do it, but you see her at the top of the leaderboards. So it doesn't mean anything less. But if you're trying to figure it out here, that is your best way, one of your best ways to plug in, and especially with your direct mentor or, any one of us. We're all just here to help you. So I just really wanted to share that real quick before I head into American Amicable. Thank you. All right, so with American Amicable, this is one of my most favorite carriers. Chris always makes fun of me because I like to, share my milestones with, because we're supposed to focus on our wins. And American Amicable, they're the ones I went a trip to Hawaii with, and they're super easy to use. I'm a super simple person. I don't like things complicated. And, when you do enough applications, you want to find the most simplest way to help them. And American Amicable is just that. And they offer term, whole life, ULs, and final expense. All right, next slide, please. All right, so Miss Stacey Starr was keeping me focused on really just going through what your client sees. So we're not going through the whole application. At the very end, after you fill it out, you're going to get to this screen, and it's going to ask you to choose a signature option. And you can see you have 3 different ways. One is if you're in person. That's the only time you want to sign on the screen. You must be in person. I think you heard on a national call, you never, ever, ever. I don't care if the client tells you, oh, can you sign for me? You can never, ever sign for a client. You can lose your license. So don't do that. Number 2 is you can send an email, and it's super easy. You're just going to click it, and it's going to send it right on through. The third one is voice signature, and we thought that would be the most valuable to cover with you, because the email signature, you guys, once you send it, it is honestly the most easiest application. What I do is I tell my client, when you get your email, just scroll all the way down to the bottom until you can't scroll anymore. And at the very bottom of the email, you'll see a checkbox. You're going to check that, and then it's going to ask you to enter your name and the city that you're in. And it's just as simple as that. And they're going to do that, and then it comes right back to you. And then you submit it on your end if it's a final expense. If it's a term product, then it already will submit it for you. So the voice signature, for those of you who've never done a voice signature, it's super easy, especially how many times, do we help older folks that are not technologically savvy or they don't have email. So you're going to click on voice signature and this is what comes up for you. You'll see this screen and it says important, begin the voice signature recording process. And if you're looking at the screen, you'll see where it says at the right below that, obtain the appropriate voice signature script by clicking the button to the right. So in that gray box, it says click here for voice signature. And before I move ahead and show you what that voice signature looks like, and once you click on it, it's a PDF copy. You can download it onto your computer. I've done that. So when I'm talking to my client, I can help walk them through what to expect. And I'll talk about in a minute. But then you just simply click, once you do that, you'll see where I made a yellow arrow and it says click to verify recording has been received. You want to make sure after you follow the instructions on this, that's all you do. They can't make it any easier. Just read step by step to those instructions. And when you do that, at the end, after the voice recording happens, this guy will come on and he'll say something. He'll say, this call is now about to begin to be recorded. And then you go through what we're going to show you. And then once you're done with that, you're not done. You have to on this screen, click that button. One time I forgot to click that button and I called American Amicable and I was like, what, I haven't seen any updates on my application, what, can you help me? What's going on? And in going through like a 15-minute phone call, we figured out that I failed to click the verify recording. So you got to make sure you do that. All right, so this is what you're going to see. And it might be a little hard to read on here, but you can get copies of these. We can email them out to you, or you can get them on American Amicable. There are two separate ones. One's for final expense, and that's on the left. And they now have that, and that's for final expense. That's like your Dinwiddie Solutions. And then the one on the right is the level term life insurance. And that's really cool because they never had that before. So this is new. I will confess, I haven't done the new level term, but I've done hundreds of the final expense one. So what I always tell them, so they don't get tripped up on a question, I always say, it's really easy, Bob. I'm just going to ask you, a bunch of questions. First, I'm going to have you state your name and today's date. And then I'm going to just ask you simple questions, like, do you understand that this is, a life insurance application, blah, 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 everything that it says on there. And you're going to say yes. And every question I go through, you're going to say, you're just going to answer yes. And there's, and sometimes I'll tell them in the middle, I'll say, and there's one question, don't get tripped up upon. You're going to get a copy of all of this in your application, which is true. Because only one time did I have a client say, well, I haven't seen that yet. And I said, oh, you will. And it was kind of weird in the middle of the recording, but it still went through. And it was just that, do you acknowledge, that you have received and read all of the following items? And then like one of them is like a terminated copy of the fair credit reporting. I mean, it's just, they're boilerplate agreements that are standard with insurance products. And so I tell them that, so you're just going to say yes. And at the very end, you'll say yes, or I do. I said, so it's kind of like us getting married, and they always laugh. And so it's easy as that. And so you can move on to the next one. All right, so that was it on American Amicable. I don't expect anybody to have any questions, but are there any? Awesome. So SBLI, I love SBLI. for 100 different reasons, but I'll only give you a few. Number one, it's instant approval. You know right away. Number two, it has the texting ability, much like what Spencer was just talking about. And number three, it's super duper easy, and they allow your client, it's only one of the very, 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 very few carriers. Matter of fact, I don't know any others that lets our clients put the monthly premium on their credit card. All of the rest require the bank and account routing number, which I have a lot of clients that still opt to do that. But there are a lot of people that like to accumulate miles and, you know, all that business. So it makes it really nice. So the first thing your client's going to see on SBLI is this in their email when they open it up. And it's going to give them their life insurance application number. And there's a blue link. And it says your important information for review. And usually they'll know that, right? Where Stacey's cursor is. They're going to click on that. And then this is what they'll see. Then they're going to see, you know, by clicking below, I agree with the terms and conditions. And they're going to want, you know, this one's the easiest. They're just going to click I agree. I just want to, can you go back real quick, Stacey? Just so you know, there are these other like HIPAA forms on the left, those hyperlinks. They don't need to click on those. Like with Mutual of Omaha, they won't let them go forward without clicking review your application and review additional forms. SBLI does not do that. They accept for them to just click I agree. Thank you. And then once they do that, it's going to open up their application, and that's what they'll see. And here's where they're going to click is if you could see on your screen, it's kind of tiny on mine, but at the very bottom left, yep, right where Stacey's cursor is, there's a little check box. And then, sorry, my daughter's playing a horn. Let me just. I had to close the door so you didn't hear that. And then the next line is submit. So it's super easy, but I will tell you about 40% of my clients have got stuck on, I'm trying to click submit and it won't go through. It's because they are not clicking that tiny little box on the left-hand side. So that's the only trick to that one. And then the next screen is, yes. Okay. So then they're going to get the, hey, thanks for applying for your SBLI term life insurance. And that one, they'll see that and it's done. And then, well, not quite done, because if we go to the next screen, here is your best form of follow-up. And this is a really good practice to follow if you want to build more business on referrals. If you recall last week, Chris said, oh, it's already 9 o'clock, sorry. So Chris said that, you know, the leads are intended for us to be able to build upon more referrals. Well, you're going to follow through with your client by telling them, hey, you're going to get an email. And it's going to come from records@sbli.com. And that's going to allow you to register. You're going to create a login. And from there, you're going to have a digital copy. And what I've done with some of my clients that are like, well, can I get a paper copy anyhow? I tell them, hey, you know what? I can print off, you know, just the key pages of it, and I'm happy to email it to you. And they're like, oh, that'd be awesome. And I'll do that. But you don't have to do that. That's just extra customer service, but that's going to build you referrals. So that's what they get on that. I don't think that, because the time is of the essence, we'll just go ahead and wrap up on the last one. AIG, super easy. Stacey Starr gave me the easiest ones. This is the first thing they're going to see here is go ahead and they're going to get an email that says, you know, click here on the box to move forward. I honestly, 1% of my oldest clients who I sign up have ever had any difficulty on this. Nobody, 99% of my people, it's one of the most easiest. And then the next screen they'll see, it looks like a busy picture on a screen, but it's really not. It just shows, you know, they're going to see a PDF of their application, and we can go on the next screen. And then at the bottom, they get an option. They can either handwrite with their finger, their signature, or they can do a digital signature. And most of them I will recommend, oh, you know what, just choose the digital signature. It'll be easier for you. And they choose it. And voila, they're done on the AIGE app. It's super duper easy. The only thing I will tell you about the AIGE app is you do want to have the, there's a separate login for AIG, and it's called oh, I can't think of the name.
I think, isn't it Connect?
Yes, you initially get onto Connect. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a login GIL from AIG. And that one here, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, put this in the chat for those of you superstars that are here today. All right, there you go. And that wraps that up. I love that. Yes, Jim.
With the AIG, once they do the e-signature, how long does it take to process through their system? Because I went to, when she said she clicked onto it, and so I saw it go off the application list, and then it goes into their system, and then I went to see on the web page, the website, if it had showed up, and it hadn't showed up yet. So I'm wondering what the time frame is for their processing, or maybe she didn't sign it correctly.
It could be that she didn't sign it correctly. It's really instant. I always look on my dashboard, and
Yeah.
can I share my screen, Stacey Star, real quick? All right, let me just, to answer you, this will make it easy for you. As far as them AIG processing it and then, you know, like paying you, they're usually, I think it's like every Wednesday, I want to say, but in terms of her getting coverage right away, and having that policy put in place, it's very, very instant. And here is the screenshot of what you're going to see. Okay, so
Can you share? You should be able to share.
okay, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So when you look at your dashboard, you'll click on your name in the upper right hand side, and you're going to click on the one that says dashboard, and then at the bottom under the filter, you'll see another box and it says open applications. If her name still shows up there, then she has not fully signed it. So what you want to do is you go back to your filter, and you're going to click on complete that drop down and click on completed applications. Once it's completed, that's how I know they signed. So I sit there on the phone with them. You guys, one thing I hope that you get out of this is make sure you stay on the phone until you have confirmed your client has signed all the forms. You never want to have them tell you, oh, okay, I'll sign it later. You have, because they may have trouble, something will happen. So you want to make sure you stay on the phone with them, and then you just let them know, okay, here, no worries, you know, I'll help you with it. And then once their name shows up here, then you're just, all you do is click on this, one of the links, and then that's the actual application that you'll use to upload an op for your application. Did that help
Awesome,
you,
thank
Jim?
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
You're the
Well,
best.
any other questions?
I have a question. Are you opening up your Zoom room, Miss Stacey Starr?
I am.
I'm gonna be there. So anybody else that wants to join us? I know, Jim, you're so awesome. All right, well, I don't have anything else. I'm so blessed and honored to be here today. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your show.
Ditto. Happy Friday. All right, you guys.
Good job, ladies. We'll
Thank
wrap
you.
the call.
Bye.